And we're back. Oh,
We're actually live. Right, sure. Right. Bueller. All right.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
So, Shannon,
Yes,
we just wrapped up over an hour.
over an hour.
We had Greg, we had Nick, we had a ton of people over by the Starbucks.
If they want to promote us, we're here for it. Stuff.
We're working the hustle because there was one person.
We actually had to find this woman.
One person. I'm sorry that Shannon had to tackle you in the hallway and that we had to drag you in here, but we appreciate you beyond belief. I got a chance to meet this I'm trying to find the right word, because even the storyline, the first storyline, I just sat there. It's like I just wanted to have a bag of popcorn.
Well, she's so calm and collected.
Oh my gosh.
But she has such a great background between the fact this woman plays polo. She's such an amazing. Yeah, you didn't know that?
What?
She rides horses and plays polo.
All right, I knew a little bit about the horses because you told me earlier. Oh, okay. That makes sense, because there is a bit of a majestic and smooth. I mean, I almost feel like you walk on water kind of scenario. I'm just saying, class and distinction, 1,000,000%. Because of course, where were we when we met?
Oh, where were we when we met? Well, thank you you are too kind. On the polo bit, I like to think of it as first line of defense. So, it's a team sport, and you got to be quick thinking.
It sounds like cybersecurity altogether.
Literally.
Totally. And whilst you wonderful people have been doing your great live stream, by the way, I'm following. I've been busy working the floor here at Black Cat 2024.
And what she means, she's just floating with her majestic being across the floor, healing problems.
Colored my shawl to match your shimmery suit, which I love.
Thank you.
I've been so overwhelmed this year at Black Cat around the youth of the up and coming CEOs. If we're going to talk about leadership, we had a wonderful gentleman here that just shared his phenomenal story about hacking, turn, pivot to CEO. And, this is really driving where our future's going.
Right. I love this. And obviously this is about leadership. In case you couldn't tell, Sophie exudes it from a global international standpoint. She's seen it. She's done it. She does management consulting. She does a ton of great things. And that's why we had to tackle her, tie her down to the seat. We'll remove the Velcro later. I know that's what this shawl is covering, but it's so, yeah, on her own. Yes, we're don't call the police. We're not at the House of Blues towards the back in case you want to join us. So next generation, you've got, I mean, yesterday I must have met 5 new CEOs of cybersecurity companies.
All week. That's
just last night I met 5, let alone. Walk us through what you've seen out and about, and what talk to the exact piece that what does it excite you to see this?
What does it excite me? Well, I think if you look at conventional leadership, a couple of decades ago, the new phenomenon of cyber and the CISO function really didn't exist. And one thing that I note here throughout almost 3 decades, and not giving my age away, in executive search, the youth and the age of these pioneering CEOs is getting younger and younger every year, and they're bold, they're being brave to step out as entrepreneurs, and if you add, by the way, what's happening in the private equity world, I am working across the globe with some of these amazing companies that are, winning investment, and these guys are at least, and women, by the way, I shouldn't forget that, at least 10, 15 years younger than what we would have seen a few decades ago.
Right.
So this is really great for me.
So you started your executive career at the age of 5. So 30 years in, you're now seeing this transformation. Now, are you seeing more of, or less of, let me rephrase this, the required educational pieces?
Absolutely. And one thing that I will say about cyber, we've been in the midst of a talent deficit now for the last at least decade. So we are seeing less conventional technology background moving into senior leadership in cyber simply by virtue of the fact that we don't have legacy decades of talent. And I think this is great.
So
So
you're
you're not
removing.
seeing the 4-year graduate degrees, the requirements to go get all these certs, right? You're seeing people that have this talent and they're just exploding and getting out of the market.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, because if you think of leadership, technology really is where these cyber people have emerged from. And actually, when you take technology risk and it becomes a business risk, which really cybersecurity is,
True.
you can take people with a technology background, but you can't make them leaders without helping them along that journey.
Yes.
You know, and that's really where the two sides of the coin come together.
That's amazing. So what are you seeing people, how are they becoming leaders? How are they going from being a technologist to that leader and being in the limelight?
Well, I think firstly, leadership design is something that I do sort of day in, day out, which is helping CEOs and boards look at really what best in class looks like from a cyber resiliency. And when I talk about that, I help de-risk a business through human capital. And it's great to have somebody that's a technical expert, but can they articulate cybersecurity in a digestible format to the board?
So true. It's so true. And the board is not technical half the time, most of the time, right? Not even half, like probably 80% of the time. So how do you get them to understand and not be a scary story that they're hiding under the bed covers?
Well, I think regulation's really helping us, because if you take the SEC regs, they've made it a very strong recommendation, if not in certain states, a requirement that a board is composed of somebody with cybersecurity expertise. There are varying programs around the world that are now taking CISOs and CISOs -1 on that leadership program to get them board ready. And
That's
this
amazing.
is absolutely something the industry needs, that maturity and understanding in the boardroom. Even a CEO who's traditionally a CFO,
Yes.
before coming a CEO, is very financially minded. And what they don't have is that technical depth of expertise. So what we do at Caldwell is actually help fast track that population by getting them the leadership exposure to ultimately progress into the boardroom.
That's pretty amazing. So tell us about, what is it you do? I mean, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but talk about what it is you do and what is the big thing about Sophie that we need to know about?
Well, the first thing is I spend rather a lot of time on an airplane. But the great thing, you meet some super interesting people. So I lead the global cybersecurity practice for Caldwell. And what that means in essence is I work in an industry agnostic sense. So aviation, nuclear, consumer, banking. But then I have a functional expertise. So the CISO function is my sweet spot globally. So there are no boundaries.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What I also love is, again, you've got the experience and the ability to lead by example. So if you're in charge of the CISOs and you're leading with a presence and a clear understanding and communication of how to explain something, that's the best mark of like, this is exactly what I should be doing, because I'm a practitioner and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how to lead people. But so having someone like you at that layer in front, and also because we had this candid conversation, calling out the bullshit,
Yeah.
right, when needed to the leadership, to let them know when things are not quite right. Right. So I love, and this is why, thank you that you tackled her and we brought her here. But walk us through the other challenges, right? So you have the training, you have the youthfulness, the ability to be able to shape. But what are the other challenges that you're seeing leadership in companies?
So one of the biggest challenges I see and I experience firsthand, there's two really. One is the average tenure of a cybersecurity leader is getting shorter and shorter. They are looking for greater indemnification in those roles. There are some internal conflicts that still exist within organizations in terms of budgeting, resourcing, visibility at board level, leadership design. Should a CISO report to a CTO, a CIO, a COO? One size doesn't fit all, and it really depends on the organization. But I think of it as preventative cyber, like we think of preventative medicine and preventative dentistry. Don't wait till the horse is bolted to shut the stable door.
Right, right.
Get your ducks in a row, get best in class talent, make sure your leadership design is right. And then you are actually de-risking your business through your people.
Right, right. So are you seeing more education laterally and up through management to get that kind of mindset and to get the awareness?
I think so, definitely. I think organic growth, mentoring, some of these wonderful programs around the world that we're here partly at Black Cat for is making sure that we're not just looking at lateral hires. We are actually encouraging and supporting those within our organizations to develop their careers in cybersecurity.
It's really amazing. Okay. I told you we had to do that.
I know. All right. We're now because I think we covered. Well, I also want to, no, I think we need to get a little more about Sophie. Okay. So I just heard a number. You don't have to tell us where this is, but you have a passion for horses.
Yes, a big, big passion.
And I was standing when I heard the number, but can you walk me through? Again, you don't have to disclose where, this is
Yeah.
cybersecurity, but how many horses?
Well, I have a little herd. A little herd. Yeah, a little herd. It's a sort of, bit of everything. But no, so the story behind it fundamentally is I started a program about 15 years ago in Argentina to bring more women, younger women, kids into the sport of polo, which is actually traditionally a very male-orientated sport. Incredibly dangerous. You're 4 players in a 7-minute chukker playing against another 4. Your horse travels at 35 miles an hour. It is not about winning that game yourself. It's about playing with your team, being in the right place at the right time, and having fun.
So you run a league, basically, of women polo players.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that take? How many horses? What's the space? What's the time commitment? When's the tournament?
Okay.
No pressure. We're not live at all.
Me at the moment is sort of between London and Buenos Aires. When I'm home, I try and play. I'm very lucky. I have a really supportive team that take care of everything. But yeah, I try and get in the saddle at least 3-4 times a week. I love for my friends, clients, guests, learners, beginners to come join me. So the door is always open. Anybody that wants to have a go, I've created a setup that's so rewarding.
It's honestly brilliant. And we FaceTime, my daughter rides. And Sophie keeps saying, like, when is she coming? Because she's only 5. We've talked about it. We actually FaceTime each other. We've done it a few times now with my daughter to show her the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just want to walk you through what goes in my head because I'm a visual kind of person. So we've got a global executive presence in you. Then we talked about Argentina and the travel. So now you're a globetrotter. So okay, immediately I just thought of the series that we're going to start with you is Where in the World is Sophie, right? Sophie San Diego, So but then you kind of elevate it to another level when you just throw out one little word, Argentina.
Oh,
Right. So that's like next level. And I'm not going to say what I would normally say. I'm trying to keep it clean. And then you add on, not only are you a practicing polo player, but you've created a program to expose and educate and train and give women the opportunity. That's massive. That's like an experience on top of an experience on top of an experience.
can't have access to it unless you come from a particular type of background. And actually, in Argentina, home to the sport of kings, which polo is, we've created an environment where it is not that at all, And when I'm not getting on a flight and moderating a panel on women in cyber, I'm with my chainsaw and my wheelbarrow. Literally, the nails, the fancy.
Well, I'm glad we're not in Argentina and forcing her to have this interview.
Absolutely.
Right.
Talking cyber.
So, and Sophie, you're sitting here going, why is Mel asking me these types of questions in a leadership CISO Black Hat conference? This is about leadership. It's about leadership when you get to the mastery level and you want to give back, and it could be within your field or it could be within a passion that you have. But to me, this is a blessing to have you here today and to showcase this. And obviously, when you have your big tourney or you've got a big conference that you've got to do for Polo, let us know how we can help promote that, because that to me is a beautiful piece. I've got Sasha in the background. I've got my other daughters. It's why I support Shannon. It's why I showed up on Monday. Why I showed up to almost every women's event on the planet, because we need to do more of that. Please, we need more of that.
No, I agree, Mel. And Shannon, thank you so much for everything you do. I think it's been an amazing week here so far at Black Hat. And the closing note I will say on that, when I spoke on Monday to give the finalist awards, it is not about us being over the winning line. It is about helping others get there. And that is exactly what I do in my job and what I do when I'm on the polo pitch.
And I want to make sure it's very clear here and here. Every time I post, you'll see this. Like, it looks a little awkward. I'll say, excited to be at this leadership conference. And every now and then I'll add, just happens to be only women.
Yeah, it's true.
Because if the rest of the world hasn't figured this out, women rule the world, number one. They're just not being recognized for it quite as much yet. So get over it, suck it up, because leaders like these two and the one behind the keyboard who's ready to pass out are going to take over the world. So thank you both for everything you do, keeping the rest of society aligned with the things that you're not recognized for. And this is a blessing to be here. So thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. This is it. Well, we'll see. We may do another impromptu. Yeah. Yes. So thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Shannon.